And we are back. Breaking news out of Clairton, Pennsylvania. We're going to have a press conference coming up here shortly. U.S. Steel plant, Clairton, Coke plant, explosion, mass casualties, one person dead, at least one person dead, two people it appears to be still missing. And it appears to be still a operation going on at this plant, but we're gonna get an update. We covered this earlier, and then we logged off a little bit, and we're evaluating the situation again. And they're coming up with a press conference in about 20 minutes or so. Officials plan to hold a news conference. A spokesperson said with the Allegheny County Communications, 3:30, major explosion. What's interesting about this case, about the situation here, is now the governor's saying multiple explosions took place at this plant. So we will see shortly what's going on, what's the status of the people that are missing, how many people for sure are missing, if there's any additional fatalities than the one fatality reported. This is just south of Pittsburgh. This is Allegheny County, folks. Come on in. JLR investigates. Scene is still pretty active there at the U.S. Steel Coke Works plant in Allegheny County. Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, says there has been multiple explosions. So we're going to listen in on a press conference and see firsthand what happened here, if we can get any additional information. My concern is the pollutional aspect, pollution, and things like that. And, is there a health risk? Is there a health risk at all? And what's going on with that aspect? And we don't know the cause. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. We don't peddle conspiracies out here. But do you think at all that this could be sabotage or a deliberate act? A terroristic attack? I know we're dealing with a lot of trade wars, tariff wars with other countries. This same plant just merged with the biggest steel company in the world out of Japan, Nippon. Right? And, China's not very happy with that. And others is not very happy with that. Though, this plant has had significant issues in the past that's being out there now. A lot of issues with safety, environmental issues, pollution issues, lawsuits. So, what's going on here? Or is it lack of training, a new management in town here that just wanted production at the cost of safety? We don't know. But it'll be interesting to see when this comes forward or what they at least say and what they at least put out there. But it does make me wonder a little bit, considering that we have huge tariffs, tariff war, things like that. And I am curious to know a little bit about, how this happened, why this happened. Is there any criminal liability? There's definitely civil liability here. Mark my words. If they've been sued before with other stuff, somebody's getting sued here. Somebody's getting sued. So the question is, what will come out of this? We don't know. But yeah, they're still out there at the scene. This is a live shot overhead. This is Clairton, Pennsylvania, south of Pittsburgh. It's about 20 miles south of Pittsburgh. And you got an active scene still going on with them searching for the two missing people. We don't know if the two missing bodies have been recovered. We don't know if any bodies or if anybody alive have been recovered. We don't know what the cause of this. We don't know the cause. But this is not a good sign right here when a ambulance leaves the scene without their lights on. Ambulance is leaving the scene and no lights are on. So I believe that probably if there is missing people, they're most likely deceased. Though we saw the images, and I don't want to be offensive here because I know probably some loved ones possibly could be watching at one point. And we don't mean no disrespect because you never lose hope. But this is not a good sign right here. This way this ambulance is. It appears that they put a body in this ambulance here. This could be one of the two missing people. Could be both missing people. In the next 19 minutes, we're supposed to get a press conference, according to reports. We got a press conference coming up, and I want to hear what exactly happened here. We were on earlier that then there was a lull, that one media outlet. There was really only like one media outlet that has been continuously putting out information about this. Now there's some threads up. They're saying Pennsylvania has the highest amount of steel plant injuries in the United States. Number one. In the last 10 years, there have been 266 severe injuries in steel mills. 194, which resulted in hospitalization, 94 amputations. This is not good right here. According to OSHA. That is about one severe injury every 2 weeks on average. While serious injuries and even deaths in steel plants are not uncommon, explosions are common. A few weeks back, there was a big explosion in Nebraska, at a plant in Nebraska. Remember that? Pennsylvania has the highest amount of injuries, followed by Texas and then Ohio. They don't reflect fatalities. This is not good here. But we got a press conference coming up in the next 17 minutes or so. And we'll hear firsthand what in the heck is going on and what maybe some information, probably lack of information. I'll be honest, a lot of times these press conferences, what they'll say is it's an ongoing investigation. Is it a criminal investigation, though? Can anyone be criminally liable? What's going on here? What's this? Oh. Viewer discretion is advised. Viewer discretion is advised. This does not look good. I don't know if they're going to put it away. Yeah, I think they put it away a little bit, just out of. That's smart. That's smart. Actually, that's smart right there. That was a pretty smart move right there. You know, you've got what I'm saying. They turned the camera away from someone, you know, in that ambulance. Somebody's getting airlifted to the hospital, but it doesn't look like it was an urgency there. You follow what I mean? Because I think anyone that was found or anyone that sustained injuries are already at the hospital by now. Right? No? But is there, I mean, because we haven't really seen a group of people like cheering or anything like that. Because a lot of times, you know, when there is like earthquakes and rubble or building collapse and stuff like that, there is an occasional miracle where someone is pulled out of the rubble and everyone's cheering and happy when they pull people out of a well or down a manhole or down somewhere deep in. You know, there's celebration in the sense that you pulled a body alive. I don't see any celebration here. Now they're saying we were reporting earlier about 16 people were taken to the hospital. So more than a dozen people taken to the hospitals, multiple different hospitals here. But they still got an active scene going on. 15 minutes to press conference, by the way. We're clocking it. It kind of gives you a glimpse, again, of this factory. We were watching it when it unfolded. A little bit before 11 o'clock Eastern. Clairton, Pennsylvania. U.S. Representative Summer Lee, guess she represents that district. She participates in the subcommittee hearing by the House Oversight. And she represents the district, issued a statement vowing to support affected workers and families. My team and I are aware of the tragic explosion at the U.S. Steel Clairton Cokes plant. My heart is with the workers, especially those injured or trapped, their families, first responders, USW members, and the entire Clairton community. Lee said, I am deeply grateful to the emergency personnel, medical teams, and rescue crews who are responding with courage and urgency. Chopper's still hovering around the scene here. Just look how massive this plant is. This merger between Nippon and U.S. Steel said it was going to produce 100,000 new jobs. A lot of new jobs. I don't know how many people actually work at this plant in general. I would say thousands, right? Thousands. This plant employs thousands. I would think so. So we're going to get an update very, very soon to see what they say. And what the, if they can give us some information about what happened here, why and how. Welcome back for people that were in the chat earlier. It just looks, didn't they just say, didn't Fetterman say that they redid this plant a few years back or added significant renovations to this facility? I think he said that, this particular one. But to me right there, it looks like literally like a bomb got dropped. Again, Shapiro saying there has been multiple explosions from this situation. I think the camera's going away, but there's another feed we could put up too. As we wait for an understanding of what happened here. JLR Investigates, just showing you the terrain. You know, this employs a lot of people in this area. Similar to coal mining, steel. Steel is a thing. Steel is a thing. Oh, yeah, that's what they put up earlier. That was the somebody being loaded into a medical chopper. Maybe they turned it off. I'm sure I'll be back in a second. There you are. Somebody getting helivaced. Look up the was that the Rouge Steels explosion from 1999? See something, say something. Hey, I like that name. See something, say something. Rouge Steels explosion from 1999. You know, these workers, they go to these plants. They kiss their wives and their children each day. There's no guarantee. Is a sabotage. Deliberate sabotage. We got deliberate sabotage here. I mean, there's a lot of unanswered questions. All right, so they moved it up to 345. So they just said, but here's what we have. Allegheny Emergency Management will be speaking. Allegheny County Police Superintendent speaking. County Executive will be speaking. Scott Buckiso Executive Vice President and Chief Manufacturing Officer at U.S. Steel, will be speaking. U.S. Steel put out and said this incident involved at least 2 oven batteries. Oven batteries. Goes on to say, an incident which occurred at U.S. Steel's Clairton plant in Pittsburgh Monday involved at least 2 coke oven batteries, according to the United States Steel Corporation. We are working closely with relevant authorities to investigate the cause of the incident and will provide additional updates as they become available. Okay, nearly 1,300 employees work at this plant each day. So it holds 1,300. That's a lot of people. It's like a school. 1,300 people. So we got that information. 1,300 people work at this facility. Welcome aboard, folks. JLR Investigates. We are going to get a press conference coming up shortly. They actually moved it another 15 minutes back. It was supposed to be at 3:30. They've been doing that a lot in Pennsylvania. Remember the trooper stuff that we covered the other day? The troopers. This is a second big tragedy in Pennsylvania in less than a week. Remember the troopers that got ambushed? Now we got a big plant explosion. Not a good week for Pennsylvanians, right? When it comes to national stories. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro said there were multiple explosions at the U.S. Steel's Clairton Coke Workers plant on Monday, adding that search and rescue operations is still ongoing. Multiple explosions occurred today at the U.S. Steel Clairton Coke Works in Clairton, Shapiro said in a post on X. His administration has since been in constant contact with labor leaders and local officials. Injured employees have now been transported to local hospitals to receive care, and search and rescue efforts remain active at the plant. If you're in the area, continue to follow instructions by the local authorities. Another thing I find interesting about this, ATF is at the scene. Now, if this was an accident, would ATF be at the scene? Would they go? I mean, maybe, yeah, federal authorities. But ATF is a criminal, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. What is ATF? What is ATF? Why is ATF at the scene? It's what they announced. ATF said they are at the scene. So why do we got ATF at the scene? Because of an explosion? Make sure it's not deliberate. Maybe they're just investigating it to rule out any criminal activity. Is this criminal activity? Is the ATF checking for bombs, explosives, other things? Why is Shapiro saying there has been multiple explosions? I don't know. Suspicious? Precautionary? Mookie2 Adventure says ATF precautionary measure. Explosions happen at these. Is it ATF or OSHA? It's actually ATF because it says here at the ATF Pittsburgh is assisting with the explosion. They put it out on their X. ATF Philadelphia. At ATF field office, ATF Philadelphia put it out on X. ATF field office Pittsburgh is assisting multiple agencies in response to the explosion at U.S. Steel Clairton Coke Works. Further information, contact Allegheny Emergency Services. Huh. Makes you wonder. Well, it definitely makes me wonder. I don't know. So this is a live look at the plant. Camera's back out on the scene. You saw a chopper take someone away. We don't know who that someone is. Dozens injured, they're saying. Dozens injured. Clairton, Pennsylvania. So, did they get all the people that have been missing? One thing I noticed about the press conference, too, let me go back here. No law enforcement will be speaking at this press conference. It's all just emergency services and county executives. So that might be a sign that terrible accident. But I'm sure the media will answer a question. If you had one question to ask, what would it be? What would you ask if you asked? You know, some people have also, again, we're not conspiracy theorists, you know, but we go with what people say and have conversations about what people think. I've saw a lot of people online say, hey, coincidentally, at the same time, Trump's now, you know, talking about federalizing D.C., an explosion happens. And one of the biggest steel plants in the United States. Is that suspicious? Or is this just coincidence, bad timing, nothing to do with nothing? But people talk. Steel, big thing out there. Pittsburgh Steelers. Steel country. Bonzo B says, my question would be, when was the last maintenance performed on the coking ovens? You have to learn a little bit more about these coking ovens. That's what they're saying. It's a coking oven. When was the last time maintenance? You know, you've got a biggest steel company in the world buying U.S. Steel. I mean, the talks were to buy it was in 2023, but the official merger happened in June, just 2 months ago. Did they do any maintenance on these coking machines? Coking machines. Right? Parts, faulty parts, sabotage, used parts, what? No parts, lack of oversight. When's the last time OSHA was there? Coking machines are specialized equipment used in steel production to convert coal into coke. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking cocaine. Let's be real. When I very first thing I saw was coking plant, I'm like, cocaine? What's going on here? Let's be real. It's some of you probably thought the same thing. Cocaine. It's not cocaine. Converts coal into coke. A crucial ingredient in the blast furnace. These machines handle the entire process of coal preparation, heating in the ovens, and pushing the finished coke for further processing. This includes tasks like mixing, pulverizing, and loading coal into ovens, as well as pushing the hot coke out for cooling. Coking is the process of heating coal in the absence of oxygen at high temperatures to produce coke. In the absence of oxygen, what happens if oxygen gets caught up in there? This process removes volatile compounds from the coal, leaving behind carbon-rich material suitable for steel making. Coke oven machines. These machines are designed to work with the coking plant and around the coke ovens. They include charger drive, used to push the cold cakes into the oven. Ram drive pushes the fixed coke out of the ovens after the cooking process. Travel drives used to ensure the continuous loading and unloading of ovens on a cycle basis. Coking drives. Coke is a vital component in steel production, acting as a fuel source in the blast furnace and help to reduce iron ore to produce molten iron. The coke burns to provide heat, and the carbon in the coke steals the oxygen from the iron ore, leaving behind pure iron. It's a coking issue. Coking machines. What makes them explode? How about that question? What makes coking? Here's what they say. According to AI overview, several factors can lead to explosion of coking machines or coking ovens, which are used in steel production to convert coal into coke. Here's a breakdown of the main causes. Gas buildup and ignition. Coking oven gas, composed of the mix of methane, hydrogen, and carbon monoxide, is highly flammable. That's probably it. It's probably it. And they were also talking about batteries too. I saw batteries too. And somebody said lithium batteries in the chat. Leaking or improper ventilation can cause these gases to accumulate, forming an explosive mixture with air. Hydraulic failures, coal dust accumulations, poor housekeeping, electrical faults, aging equipment, poor maintenance. I know someone in the chat was talking about the maintenance. When was the last time this place was looked at? Great question. At least 2 oven batteries. So it's part of the oven. Oven batteries. Coking oven batteries. The oven and the batteries. What kind of batteries? Where are they coming from? Coking oven batteries are complex industrial structures that operate at high temperatures and utilize flammable gases, creating inherent risks of explosion. Fuel. The fuel source. Leaks or failures in the piping and equipment can allow the gas to escape and mix with air. Did air get mixed in? Ignition source. Equipment failures and poor maintenance, disc ruptures, leaks in the piping and equipment, defective or clogged vent caps, hydraulic failure, human error, ignoring potential risks, improper maintenance. A lot of factors could be here. Seems like it's more like maybe bad batteries. How about bad batteries? Where the batteries come from? When's the last time the batteries were? Do they get replaced? Do you have to maintenance the batteries? Someone just tagged me on Twitter and said December 2022, Erie Coke Corp shutting down operations. Erie Coke Corp has shut down operations at its Bayfront facility. This happened about 2 years ago. And there's been a battle between Erie Coke Corp and the Department of Environmental Protection, which in 2022 denied the company's Title V permit after numerous environmental violations. Is that Erie, Pennsylvania? I'm assuming it's Erie Coke Corp. If it's Erie, I'm assuming it's Erie, Pennsylvania. So, interesting. Another Coke plant got shut down. Or they shut themselves down. But they were about to be shut down. Erie Coke. So we got might be a similar situation here. Yeah, we're just sharing what's out there. I mean, I'm trying to inform myself while informing y'all, and y'all can chime in, please. I'm sure we got some experts here that know about this, at least some. Something about this coking and the batteries and the conversion. A number of ovens together is considered a battery. So this industry, I mean, was this just fast-tracked because of the merger? I mean, we're talking about the biggest steel company in the world merged with U.S. Steel. And one of the stipulations was to stay here at this plant, stay and keep base in the Pittsburgh area. Nippon, Nippon. And there was tons of resistance in reference to this merger. I mean, there was a battle. They were saying it was a controversial deal. Now, proponents will say, hey, producing steel on U.S. soil, create U.S. jobs, 100,000 jobs. Don't be less dependent on foreign steel. And people that are against it saying health hazards, environmental issues, pollution. Both sides of the issue. Hello, everyone. We are waiting for a press conference. It's supposed to start at 3:45. It was 3:30. They moved it, but it does say that one is coming up at 3:45. I'd like to hear what they say. I'm curious about this because I'm learning stuff I haven't learned. Now we have to pay attention to all the plants around the country. I swear, like last week, there was a plant explosion in Nebraska, wasn't there? Let me see. One week ago, 3 dead following blast at biofuels plant in Nebraska. Horizon biofuels plant, 3 died in Fremont, Nebraska, and an explosion at a plant. So this is the second time in a week a major explosion at a plant in this country. And this place, too, had previous history of safety issues, safety hazards. You know, a lot of safety, environmental problems. Now, does this affect the river anyway? Does this affect the soil? They're still reporting people are trapped under the rubble. It's safe to say somebody could still be under the rubble because they still have an ambulance there, or there's some people that they haven't found yet. Due to the fact that the ambulance is still, look, the ambulance is still there, indicates that there's probably a person or people trapped. We should find out shortly what's going on. What's the status? Will anyone be criminally charged? Can they be? Neglect, deliberate indifference. Everybody have appropriate permits? Who's the workers that are running the ovens and the batteries? Who are the workers? Do they have to do safety checks before they start each day? Do they have to or they just crank it up and go? From the time it gets light all the way to the end of the day each day. Maybe they do this all night. Is this an all-night plant? We should learn more, though. I'm curious. So stick with us here as we follow this terrible situation. At the end of the day, someone lost their life, and I think at the end of the day, there's going to be 3 people dead. If they say 2 are missing, 1 is dead, could be 3 people dead from this. 24 hours a day, Grammy H says. They're grinding out the steel. But hey, steel, very important in this country, right? A lot of things. Steel. What products use steel? Automotive, buildings, rail transport, construction, domestic appliances, transportation, machinery, infrastructure, tools, appliances, building components like beams and rebar, medical implants, sporting goods, art. I mean, steel is a huge, important aspect of our everyday lives. Refrigerators, washing machines, stoves, dishwashers, microwaves, forks, spoons, knives, cookware, pots and pans, sinks, shelves, cabinets, radiators, home appliances, vehicles, bicycles, used part, chassis, engine blocks, suspension systems on vehicles, bridges, railways, tracks. I mean, it's a very, people say sporks. Spork, yeah, I think they got steel sporks, right? Spork. It's 3:42. We do get a press conference, they say, at 3:30. So hopefully they'll run on time on this. I'll look around the different feeds and see if they got something set up. This is a live aerial shot above the plant, as we will probably understand more here shortly. I'm curious to know. Maybe that chopper goes away because they know the press conference is coming up. Chopper's going away. We're going to get some answers here. Maybe. Possibly. There's one Pennsylvania station
where the explosion fire took place. More, of course, as we get up into I-4. Shannon and Mike.
All right, Sam, thank you very much. As we await that 3:45 news conference, Keely Gunderson is standing by. She's going to bring us that as soon as it happens. That is set for 3:45. But we continue to hear from elected officials. Congressman Chris Deluzio sent us a statement saying this: I'm closely monitoring the horrible tragedy at Clairton Coke Works. My team and I are in touch with Steelworkers, U.S. Steel, and the Allegheny County Executive, Sarah Innamorato. He goes on to say, I urge folks to follow guidance from local authorities and keep clear of the area, as you just heard Sam Hall mention. My heart goes out to those workers and their families who will need all of us to rally around them. From U.S. Representative Chris Deluzio. Again, this is a map showing us exactly where we are talking about, the location right along the river here at the Clairton Coke Works in the Mon Valley.
We know that 1 person has died and 2 people are still unaccounted for. Many people have been injured. The ATF and many other agencies are responding to multiple explosions and a fire at the Clairton Coke Works steel mill, part of the Mon Valley Works that goes on both sides of the Mon River, the Monongahela River, in Allegheny County, and has been part of the economy of Allegheny County in Western Pennsylvania for more than 100 years. There have been multiple problems at the Clairton Coke Works dating back just this year. Several incidents have taken place, and even in 2018 when there was a very large fire on Christmas Eve at the Clairton Coke Works as well. Again, we're focusing on the information that we have at hand. We also really want to let you know that you are in the right place for the very latest information. Representative from the company to talk, and also the Allegheny County Emergency Management Chief, Matt Brown, and county police as well to tell us what they can. And it will also give us an opportunity to try to ask some questions, which is important in our process.
Yeah, our number one job right now is to report on those workers who have been injured, those taken to the hospital, their families, and the coworkers, Shannon, who really ran to the aid of their coworkers. We saw so many scenes just like this. Co-workers becoming first responders, if you will, running to that rubble to look for their co-workers and friends. Also, the big part of our story, many people who live and work in Clairton have concerns about the air quality due to all the smoke from the explosions and then the firefight. The Allegheny County Health Department actively monitoring the explosion. They say the air quality monitors have not detected levels above the federal standards, but out of an abundance of caution, the residents within a 1 mile radius from that plant advised to remain inside, closing all your doors and windows. And if you can, set your HVAC systems to recirculate the air inside your house, your building where you work, and don't use those exhaust fans that can suck in the air from the outside.
We're starting to get information about the injured and the people who, at least one person who may have died in this. We are waiting to get that information confirmed from officials. You know, we have our reporters and photographers on the ground, and they're hearing firsthand from folks who are waiting to hear the status of their loved one, waiting, holding their breath, waiting for some news about the severity of these injuries. And we know about this at least one fatality. So we are talking with those folks. I want you to know that we're getting information. And as soon as we're able to confirm and report that information, we're going to pass it along to you. I know for those of you who have been checking in with us on this newscast and on WTAE and Pittsburgh's Action News 4 all day during the day today, starting before our new news today, you have been trusting us to get you the latest information and accurate information on a very tragic day where disaster has struck in the heart of our community in Allegheny County, right along the Monongahela River.
And we did get that statement from both Allegheny County government and U.S. Steel saying that they will speak at a 3:45 news conference. It's 3:47 right now. We are in place to bring you that news conference as we learn any information. As soon as that news conference begins, we will bring it to you live. Pittsburgh's Action News 4 reporter Kaylee Gunderson has been on scene for the past 4.5 hours. She is there on the scene to give you that news conference live when it happens.
And again, we are hearing from folks who are connected to the steel mill, connected to the Clairton Coke Works. This is a place where they take coal and they turn it into coke, and the coking process is used as an ingredient and also in the process to get steel hot enough and to raise those temperatures. And we're dealing with what has been a dangerous place to work. And there are folks who have committed their lives to this kind of work. And we are hearing from their families. And we know that some of those families today are getting the very worst news. And we want to be a partner with you through this tragedy as we get the latest information.
Cannot imagine the heartbreak of those 1,300 employees who are working there. We did hear from someone who was not working today, and the frustration of just not knowing any information. We hope to bring you that information in that press conference just as soon as it begins. But our thoughts right now are very much with those workers and their families right now.
As
we take you. I guess they're going to do like a couple-minute warning here, and then they will speak. I think officials are coming. They bring out the crew. Doesn't look like this. He's wearing a Pittsburgh Steelers shirt. What do we got? They're bringing a podium. That guy's probably smart wearing a mask right now. I would probably be wearing a mask in that area too, because you don't know the fumes and everything like that. I'd probably be wearing a mask too in this situation. Maybe he just normally wears a mask. I don't know. I wouldn't want to breathe all those chemicals and stuff. So what we have here is a press conference that's coming up with an executive vice president of the company, emergency management officials. I don't know. Will Fetterman be there? Maybe. He was there. Fetterman was there. Both senators, McCormick and Fetterman, have spoken. Josh Shapiro has spoken. Clairton. It says, USA Today, explosion like thunder rocks. Isn't that the mayor of Pittsburgh?
No, glad to be here.
Anybody who wants to stand behind the podium can go in here.
No, it's not. It's not Allegheny. I don't believe.
Everybody in place.
That's Lieutenant Governor. You're right. That's a Lieutenant Governor. Had to put a name to the face.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. We're going to have a very quick press update. Scott Bacaizo from U.S. Steel is going to start us off. Then we'll have a few speakers from Allegheny County, including County Executive Sarah Murato and Lieutenant Governor Austin Davis. Take a couple quick questions at the end, but this is just an informational update, so I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions we can't get into at the time. For now, I'll bring Scott up to the podium.
Thanks, everybody. Around 10:50 this morning, we did have an incident between our 13 and 14 batteries here at the Clairton Coke facility. One explosion. Obviously, this is an active scene and still an active investigation. Our employees did a great job of making sure that we went in and rescued everybody that was involved, safely shut down all of the gases and utilities, and the plant is stable. But as I said, it is still an active investigation. Our hearts go out to our employees. Safety is our number one priority every day, every shift, 365. So obviously, this is a tragedy that we want to understand. We're under the investigation, and we will continue to work not only with the folks behind me, but the families of those that have been affected. Our hearts go out to them, our employees. We have employee assistance program that we have set up at the local union hall for anybody that wants to stop in and talk to anybody there as well. I would also like to thank our U.S. Steel EMS in all the communities, all the surrounding communities, EMS and fire that have come and helped in making sure that everybody got out of here as safe as possible today. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Matt Brown, Chief of the Allegheny County Department of Emergency Services. As Mr. Bacaizo had stated, about 10:50 was their initial response. Our first call to Allegheny County 911 was 10:51. So very quickly behind that. As Scott had mentioned, they have their internal departments to respond to those emergencies, and the municipal agencies, our department included, are always here to support them. It looks like from the overall response, about 20 EMS agencies have assisted at this point, and about 14 fire departments. And again, these are all external to the plant. All 4 divisions of my department are involved and engaged. Allegheny County 911, the fire marshal's office is here to investigate origin and cause, which we're obviously very early stages of that. Our fire training academy and our emergency management staff are all here to assist as well. And again, our role here is just to help coordinate the incident. Overall, as you can imagine, it's a very hot day. It's very tasking to all the emergency responders, both U.S. Steel and municipal. The good news is they work together very often. A lot of times they switch different hats. Many of them are volunteers at the same department. So It is a brotherhood, sisterhood, if you will, of emergency responders who really take at the heart what they're doing right now. Their efforts are very focused on rescue at this point. We are still engaged in the incident. It is continuing to be ongoing. I think that's about all the details I have at this moment. Again, our focus right now is just continuing our search for one unaccounted person at this point.
One person missing.
Afternoon. Victor Joseph, Assistant Superintendent, Allegheny County Police. First off, my thoughts and prayers go out to the victims today, the workers here at the mill and their families. We were requested by Clairton Police Department for an industrial accident. We provide those investigative services to municipalities throughout the county when needed. It was an active scene. It's still an active scene when we got here. It was a rescue mission, still a rescue mission. Initially, there were 2 unaccounted for individuals. Within the past hour, one of those individuals was rescued, has been transported to a local hospital. So we're happy to say that. There is 1 deceased as of right now, and now a total of 10 injured. Our department, along with the fire marshal and the ATF, will conduct the investigation. Like I said, it's still an active scene right now, so this will be a time-consuming technical investigation that it's going to take some time. I want to, thank our local law enforcement partners for their assistance today, and thank the media for their attention in this matter. Thank you.
So I will echo the sentiment that our thoughts are with United Steelworkers District 10 members and all employees at U.S. Steel today, their families, and in the community of Clairton and the entire Mon Valley. I want to thank the first responders for their work and efforts today, and thank you to the leadership we have at the county through Allegheny County Emergency Services and the Allegheny County Police, who you heard from just a moment ago. Working together with U.S. Steel and with their full cooperation and transparency, we aim to get to the bottom of the origin of what caused this explosion and prevent it from ever happening again. We also are deeply concerned about the community surrounding this facility. So I do want to touch on what Allegheny County Health Department issued earlier today. They are actively monitoring this explosion on site. And they are working in coordination with our emergency responders. And out of an abundance of caution, we advise residents within 1 mile of the plant to remain indoors, close all windows and doors, set HVAC systems to recirculate, and avoid activities that draw in outside air, such as exhaust fans. The Allegheny County Health Department air quality monitors have not detected a rise in PM 2.5 or sulfur dioxide above federal standards. And we will put out additional information as it becomes available to the public. So again, thank you to all our first responders and those involved in the rescue and recovery initiatives today. And I will pass it over to Lieutenant Governor Austin Davis to close us out.
Thank you, County Executive Innamorato. The Mon Valley is home for me. And so today I'm particularly holding the workers, the steel workers, and all those who are affected close to my heart. I've been in constant communication with Governor Shapiro, as well as Randy Padfield, the director of the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency. When this event first happened, our agencies have been coordinating with county agencies and Chief Matt Brown to provide whatever resources our administration could provide to make sure that the workers who are on site are rescued and transported safely. We stand willing to provide any resources that we can as we move past today into an investigation phase. But we want to thank particularly the first responders who've responded to the site, who've showed up and ran towards danger. We're grateful for the leadership that they've shown And we look forward to continuing to work in a collaborative manner, not just today, but in the weeks and months ahead, to ensure that an event like this doesn't happen again in the future. And I can say we've been in constant contact with officials at U.S. Steel. We're grateful for their partnership, as well as members of the United Steelworkers Union. I know we have President of the Allegheny County Labor Council, Darren Kelly, with us as well. And we're going to continue to keep the lines of communications open and to make sure we can help in any way possible. So with that, we'll be happy to take a few questions for any of the speakers that have spoken today. Just say who it's for, who you want to talk to.
As I said earlier, this is an active investigation. Initially, it was all search and rescue, making sure the plant was stable so we can could make sure we get everybody out safely. And now we're in the investigation stage, so I can't comment on that right now. We have one person that is unaccounted for. Yes. Well, yeah, we had an explosion, very preliminary. We don't have any details right now. We're just starting that investigation. Obviously, with all of our local EMS folks and first responders, it was rescue first. So we'll get into the investigation as things go on. So everything else is stable in the plant. Those two batteries are shut down. Yes, everybody has been transported to hospital. They were pronounced deceased at the hospital. It's an ongoing it's an ongoing rescue effort for the one person that is still not accounted for. We think we know the general location of that employee, but we're not 100% sure. Search and rescue is on site. We are always concerned about any incident at any of our facilities. Safety, as I said before, is first and foremost. It's a core value of U.S. Steel, of our employees, management, union alike. And we work together to prevent anything like this happening. So that's why it's important that we get the investigation done properly. I'm sorry? No.
Hey, Scott, what's the policy procedure for notifying the affected employees that were involved?
I'm sorry. Hold on. Yeah, absolutely. We will continue search and rescue. Yeah. We had nothing planned for 13, 14 batteries in good condition, both productivity wise, environmental wise, and safety wise. So
thank you guys for coming. When we have more information, we'll get that to you as soon as we can. But as we said, right now, it's still an active scene. They're working through a lot of things. So we'll provide an update. And if there's another news briefing, we'll be sure to give you guys as much news as we can. Thank you guys so much.
All right. So I don't know if they're going to give another update or whatnot. But what we learned is one person is dead. Somebody was transported to the hospital. Appears like that person might be alive that was transported to the hospital the way I took it. And then one person still missing. Horrible situation here. I'm just going to keep it here for a second. Look in. So an investigation, people are saying they heard it like thunder. Multiple people injured. We don't know really the total of the amount of people that were injured.
Oh, yeah. No, I can hear it. As long as it's recovered,
From this. And the lieutenant governor was on the scene.
Oh, that's very much a U.S. action for U.S. Steel.
All right, I'm going to make myself bigger here. All right, so we'll continue to follow this case. You know, we support the steel workers out there. You know, their jobs are very important to give us all the stuff that we have, all the luxuries that we have. So this is just a terrible situation. Hopefully we'll get some answers here, and we will definitely follow up through this. It's totally sad. Our thoughts and prayers are with Allegheny County, U.S. Steel, the whole steel community, the unions, everybody. It's just sad. Be safe out there. You know, if you know anyone that works in plants and everything like that, just, you know, I'm just saying, you probably have some loved ones that are at a plant right now. Some people are probably watching the chat and can kind of relate because they have a loved one that kind of works this type of work and stuff like that. When any new additional information comes out, like any other press conference or anything like that, I don't think we'll live stream, but we'll, you know, we'll do a follow-up on it. If anything additional worth noting in this, you know, terrible situation, I'll put in the description of the video. All right, folks, we cover breaking news, true crime, 24/7, 365 on JLR Investigates. Thanks for watching this particular segment. We will talk soon. Have a beautiful, blessed day, folks. Until next time.